And tonight, Tropical Storm Alberto forms in the Gulf, causing flooding, rough surf, and storm surge.
Right now, we have cameras in Houston and along the coast, courtesy of Saltwater Recon, helping us track the impacts for you tonight. Our team also spread out, tracking the season's first named storm with reports from South Padre Island, Corpus Christi, Surfside Beach, and Galveston. But we begin with Chief Meteorologist David Paul on the biggest impacts we're seeing right now, Dave.
And they have been and will continue to be on the immediate coast, where the rise in the water as the wind pushes it up onto the beaches is 2 to 4 feet above normal. That's the surge. That's why we've got so many high water spots on roadways, Jamaica Beach down to Surfside and other spots on the coast. Also, winds gusting to 37 miles an hour in Galveston during the past hour. Hobby had a gust to 26. Tomball and Brenham and Houston Bush and Conroe had a gust to 29, had a gust to 30 in Huntsville about 20 minutes ago. Rain totals in Galveston coming up toward 3 inches and more now. Let's see, Driftwood Lane, that's 61st Street right there. There's Seawall Boulevard, so you had 3 inches of rain there so far, and more than 3.5 inches of rain Duval Street, a little further down west of downtown on Galveston Island. And here's why. Had this rain band come in. That's just been getting us soaking wet for the past couple of hours. A couple of heavier downpours now. Spring, Woodlands, back to Liberty. A couple of showers near Baytown as well. Brenham, you guys still getting wet. Katy, Industry, Belleville, Hempstead, all getting wet right now. Areas north of downtown between the 610 loop and the north side of the Beltway getting wet. Bush Continental Airport getting very wet as well. And all of this from a storm that is centered here. That's 500 miles south of the Houston-Galveston area, but the broad rotation continues to bring in the wet weather for us. So what to expect? Rain continues off and on this evening. Flood watch for the coast continues into the evening. Wet roads and high water spots for the inland areas. I'll show you when the rain is going to back down, when it's going to come to an end, and we'll look at the weekend forecast coming up.
When it comes to an end, we can't wait. Thanks, David. Tonight, the National Weather Service warns South Padre Island could receive life-threatening storm surge.
We have Weather Channel meteorologist Felicia Combs there tonight for us. Felicia.
Highland and Mia, tropical storm warning here for South Padre Island. Our first named storm of the season, Tropical Storm Alberto, formed earlier today, and we are seeing the impacts of that system here, even though it's hundreds of miles away, and we are not expecting a landfall in Texas. That landfall is going to be in Mexico overnight tonight, early Thursday morning. We've got tropical storm warnings up, high surf warnings, a risk of rip currents, a coastal flood warning, and you see why here. If you look up South Padre Island, Texas, the reason people come here is for the white sand beaches and for the crystal clear water that's typically pretty calm. As you can see, that's not what we're getting here at all. With the high surf warning, we've got that risk for waves 9 to 14 feet, storm surge up to 3 feet possible. Some of the roads here in South Padre Island are already experiencing some flooding. Guys, this is what it looks like as we're heading toward low tide. High tide is right before sunrise, around 5:42. Tomorrow morning. That's also when Alberto is going to be approaching the coast of Mexico. I think before all is said and done, we're going to see more flooding here across South Texas from some of that storm surge and, of course, more of that rain. Back to you.
Felicia Combs on South Padre, thank you. It's a similar picture in Port Aransas near Corpus Christi. Our Matt Doherty is there live. Matt, what are you seeing?
You know, it stopped raining a couple of hours ago, and that brought a lot of visitors back out here to the beach. Then about 30 minutes ago, it started raining once again. They all left. Right now, it's just very, very windy. But you know who sticks around for the wind? That's going to be the surfers. You might be able to see one of the kite surfers who's out there on the water right now. One guy we spoke with said that this part of the beach is the perfect spot to catch a wave, and right now, it is the perfect time to do so. We've spent part of our afternoon just north of here in Fulton and in Rockport. The marina in Fulton was flooded as it continued to pour today. And in Rockport, residential neighborhoods flooded as well. Back out here live from what we've been seeing, there may be more rain on the way for the Corpus Christi area. We're going to head our way back there, heading south. We'll see you later tonight at 10 o'clock. Lynn?
All right, thank you, sir. Kind of interesting to see that kite, what do they call it?
Kite surfer.
Kite surfer?
Yes, kite surfer.
Doing pretty good out there.
Managing it at all. Only if you're an expert.
Yes. Closer to home now, Jason Miles is on Surfside Beach. Jason, what are conditions like there?
Hey there, I heard Matt talk about the rain. It hasn't rained here in Surfside since early this afternoon, but the wind's still gusty, as you might be able to tell. I measured one gust a few moments ago with this wind gauge at more than 25 miles per hour. And as you can see behind me, the surf's still very rough, although the water is not coming ashore nearly as far as it was even in the last few hours. Now, take a look at some video we shot earlier in the day. We've been from one side of Surfside to the other. The west end is where I'm told most of the street flooding is occurring. Some people unable to get out easily or safely unless you really have a high-profile vehicle or even a boat. And we've seen people in a boat go down the street this afternoon. Meantime, several people had to abandon their vehicles, their cars and trucks earlier this morning, specifically at a turnaround underneath the 332 bridge heading on to Surfside. But I did check with the mayor and emergency crews here. They've only had one emergency call during this episode, and that was unrelated directly to the weather. And back here live, people are eagerly anticipating the next high tide, which comes overnight, to see if the water comes up any farther or repeats what it did yesterday. People are making the most of it, celebrating at a local bar here. We met some folks earlier, and I mentioned the boat in the street. It was actually being pulled by a Jeep. Let's check in a little farther north now with my colleague Marcelino Benito, who's on Galveston Island. Marcelino?
Hey Jason, we are here on Jamaica Beach. The rain has stopped several hours ago, but the story here remains the winds that continue to be strong. I want to show you what folks here in Jamaica Beach are dealing with. A whole lot of water in places that it should not be. Although I have to say conditions have drastically improved since our first live shot around 4 o'clock. Now I can tell you earlier this afternoon we spoke to a man here from Indianapolis vacationing with his family. He actually is staying at a vacation rental around the corner towards the back, closer to Galveston Bay. He says there the water a lot higher than what you see in our pictures. Now we're talking about waist deep. They had to walk out. They couldn't drive their vehicle out to get groceries earlier today. They didn't leave yesterday thinking the storm was so far away it wouldn't be as bad as it has been here in Jamaica Beach. Locals here obviously used to this sort of thing. Those vacationing, not so much, hoping conditions continue to improve. I did just check. Low tide expected here now in about 6 hours, so the water continues to recede. All of this water, as you can see, blowing this way, that is out towards Galveston Bay. So we do expect these conditions to continue to improve in the next few hours, and hopefully we'll start seeing more vehicles from back here in this community being able to drive out instead of have to walk out on foot. I'll send it back to you.
So unfortunate to hear about their vacation plans essentially ruined. All you need is stress on a vacation.
I'm telling you, yes, it is.
Marcelino, thank you.
Be sure to download the free KHOU 11 app. You'll be the first to know if upcoming weather will impact you. And if you enter your zip code, we'll send you alerts when severe weather heads your way.